The Las Vegas Grand Prix was built up to be the greatest spectacle of the season, but just 8 minutes into FP1, it descended into chaos. A loose water valve cover destroyed 3 cars before the session was red flagged. The teams and drivers were furious, and Toto Wolff had one of his famous explosions at the media as we waited for FP2 to start. This is not the start to a weekend that anyone wanted, especially the thousands of fans who were forcefully removed from the grandstands. Some of you might remember Romain Grosjean dramatically crashing out in Malaysia in 2017 when his right rear tyre was sliced apart by a manhole cover. Thankfully, in terms of driver safety, this was not that serious, but in terms of damage done to the cars and to Formula One's reputation, this is far worse. The loose water valve on the back straight became dislodged after just 8 minutes of FP1 before it went into the underfloor of 3 separate cars, causing massive damage. The most dramatic of the 3 was Carlos Sainz, whose car was absolutely destroyed when the cover smashed his floor. Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur said, "We damaged completely the monocoque, the engine, the battery. I think it's just unacceptable." As part of the rebuild job, Ferrari had to replace the engine. Doing so took Carlos Sainz over his permitted allowance, which under normal circumstances would incur a grid penalty. As this is not normal circumstances, and it wasn't Ferrari's fault, you would think they would get away without the grid place penalty, but the FIA denied their request to not be penalised. They explained the rules make a penalty for Sainz mandatory in these circumstances, and they do not have the power to overrule them. That is despite many of the team principals being quoted as saying that the penalty is absolutely rubbish and should be waived in this instance. Jenson Button and Karen Chandhok said, "I agree, it's ridiculous." So, FP1 was cancelled after just 8 minutes. As the FIA repaired the damaged track and checked for any other issues, they delayed the start of FP2 by 2.5 hours, meaning it began at 2:30 AM local time and would run for 90 minutes instead of the normal 60. At that point, the stands were still full, and despite the time, fans were still excited to see some on-track action. After spending thousands of dollars for tickets, they wanted to make the most of every cent. So, when the message came over the speakers around the stands, telling the fans they had to leave before the session began, they were furious. A since-deleted statement released by the Vegas race on its social media platforms read, "Due to logistical considerations for our fans and our staff, we have made the determination that we will be closing all Las Vegas Grand Prix fan areas at 1:30 AM. We look forward to welcoming fans back later today for exciting FP3 and qualifying sessions." Fans are rightly incensed. Tweets and comments from people who could only afford the ticket for the one day are heartbreaking. Imagine coming to your first ever F1 weekend and only being able to see 8 minutes of action. Last-minute tickets for FP1 and FP2 started at $200, meaning they paid $25 per minute of track time. Fans are understandably demanding refunds, and the backlash against Formula One will be huge. Unfortunately, precedent says that fans won't be reimbursed. The 2021 Spa Grand Prix saw only 2 laps of driving behind a safety car due to the rain. But fans weren't given refunds as the race was officially classified as being run, with fans, journalists, and even the commentators on the official broadcast turning on the organisers and the Las Vegas Grand Prix for the embarrassing display of penalising Carlos Sainz and kicking out the fans. Toto Wolff took his chance in front of the media to try and defend everything that was happening. He was asked if the FP1 session was a black eye for the sport and responded defending the race. At that point, several journalists began mumbling among themselves in reaction to Wolff's answer. One went as far as to say out loud, "This is absolute rubbish, 9 minutes of running," and Wolff appeared to hear that comment, which led to him raising his voice and losing his temper, forcing Sky Sports to censor his foul language as they broadcast the full press conference. "It's completely ridiculous," said Toto Wolff. "How can you even dare try and talk bad about an event that sets the new standards for everything? Then you're speaking about a effing drain cover that's been done. That's happened before. That's nothing. It's FP1. Give credit to the people who have set up this Grand Prix, that have made this sport much bigger than it ever was." Why Toto was so insistent on defending a session which was obviously a complete disaster is only known to him. And despite his comments, there isn't any denying that the first day of the Las Vegas Grand Prix has gone about as badly as it could have. Hopefully the rest of the weekend will be more successful. Were you at the track for the first day? If you were, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below so we can get your opinion on what happened and feature your statements on the channel. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.